You're listening to the Clutter Fairy Weekly, a weekly webcast and podcast brought to you by the Clutter Fairy in Houston, Texas. If you'd like to participate in one of our live webcasts, please visit cfhou.com/weekly. You'll find a calendar of upcoming webcasts, as well as instructions for joining the Zoom meeting via the app or by phone. We'd love to see you. That URL again is cfhou.com/weekly. Now here's the weekly episode. Enjoy.
Hi, Clutter Fairy fans. This is the Clutter Fairy Weekly for January 20th, 2026. I'm your co-host, Ed Gumnick, and I'm speaking with Gayle Goddard, certified professional organizer and owner of the Clutter Fairy in Houston, Texas.
Hi, everybody. The Clutter Fairy Weekly is the webcast and podcast that digs deep into the clutter that piles up between you and the life you want to be living. We explore the habits and behaviors that lead to clutter, and we suggest strategies to slow the accumulation, reduce the collection, and comfortably manage the stuff we decide to keep.
If you're new to our Zoom meeting, we want to let you know that you can share your questions and comments via the chat, and I'll try to make sure Gayle addresses them before we move on to another topic. You can also use the raise hand feature if you'd like to ask a question or make a comment yourself via audio or video. And we are streaming the webcast live on Facebook, so you can share questions and comments there, and I'll relay them to Gayle. We're going to start by talking about last week's weekly tittle, which was called Get Specific About Your Goals. The assignment was to dig deeper into one of your priorities to make sure that your goals are clear, realistic, and in service of that priority. Let's hear from our participants in Zoom and on Facebook who worked on our prioritizing tittle this week. Please let us know in the comments. YouTube viewer Brenda3251 shared a comment about a big goal that she's working toward. Brenda writes, "My goal is to sell my 2-bedroom townhouse in order to downsize to a 1-bedroom on the ground level. In order to accomplish this, my closets need to be ready to show. Only the necessities can stay. I was able to donate shoes that were still in good shape but not right for me. Also, this freed up a shoe tree, which I was able to give to a neighbor. New place has a nice landing zone in the entryway with storage for shoes."
So Brenda has a very clear priority, which is to get her house ready to sell because she wants to downsize. And she's focused on the next steps, which currently is to clear up the closet so that it shows well. I'm sure she's going to migrate from there to other areas of the house, but right now she's focused on the closets and she's digging into the closet contents as a result. She's making her keep toss decisions. So the closet's going to look more open by the time she's done. She's already taken out the shoe tree. She's already reduced the volume of the shoes. She's working on making other stuff disappear from the closet, which is great. So I think she's really analyzed her project well and is making good headway towards her goal. And best of luck with that downsize project, Brenda. I know that getting ready to move takes a lot of work. So it sounds like you are focused on it and making it happen.
Well, I liked Brenda's response. I know she didn't, well, I think she didn't necessarily mean it as a response to this week's tittle, especially, but it was still made a great example of where she's got the overarching priority and then some specific goals that will help her meet it. And
she's doing stuff that goes with it. She's
right.
doing stuff in service to that priority, right?
Right. And it's going to give her that guideline, having that in mind, even if she's never written it down, it's going to be the guideline she can use to decide what activities she should or shouldn't bother with in pursuit of that particular priority. So she's positioned herself for success.
Yeah. She should be ready to get moved soon.
Right.
Go team, go. We want you to be able to accomplish and get down to the 1-bedroom on the ground level. So yeah, because who wants to go up and down a bunch of stairs? That's the end of that process.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we've got any. Do we have any? We have a lot of people talking about the temperature where they are. Jacqueline reports, "I dropped off a donation box with items from my kitchen, some decor, and some holiday stuff. I wanted to sell, and I got them listed on eBay and Marketplace. We also did a pass through the pantry, and I dropped off a donation box with items from my kitchen, some decor, and some holiday stuff. I had set aside some items that I wanted to sell, and I got them listed on eBay and Marketplace. We also did a pass through the pantry and got rid of some expired food. My goals behind decluttering is that it frees up time for me to be creative. I crocheted myself a pair of gloves.
Hey, that's awesome. That's how you know it's working when you get back to doing a crafty thing that you haven't been focused on. That means that you feel more like you have the time and mental space to work on it. That's awesome. Congratulations. And I'm sure getting rid of all this extra stuff in the pantry like gave you a whole bunch of breathing room in the pantry as well. So good job. Good start to the year.
Jane says, my focus for the year is letting go of things no longer used or needed from the garage. On
Ooh.
Saturday, I plan to spend an all-day declutter in the garage. That got derailed by the backyard being decluttered. 9 shrubs and lots of garden art are gone now.
Oh my goodness, 9 shrubs is not a small job. That was a lot of digging, I'm sure. Good job, Jane, right? Like that's really good. I'm sure
All right.
that the garage will be ready for you when you circle back to it.
All right, let's move on to our small topic for today, which is bathrooms. Bathrooms are typically small rooms that play a huge role in our health, hygiene, appearance, and relaxation. But the frequent and steady traffic they get makes bathrooms a hot spot for clutter accumulation. Today, we're going to examine the sources of restroom clutter and offer strategies for making your bathroom an efficient, organized, attractive, and relaxing place.
I find that bathrooms are a perfect training ground for practicing your skills at decluttering. It's a smallish room compared to other rooms in the house. It usually doesn't have big clutter items. There's not typically a lot of furniture in there or really large or heavy items. And the many products you find there are easily handled, they're easily physically managed. I mean, it
Right.
has small cabinets and drawers, a small closet for linens, and a small countertop. We store many types of products in the bathroom in several categories, including lots of unused and partially used products in there. The room has many uses that need provisioning against, so it needs zoning to set it up correctly. It truly mimics the issues and the surfaces of the other rooms in the house, just on a smaller scale. So, at the beginning of the year, as we begin a new round of decluttering and organizing your home, the bathroom is a perfect place to start and to build your skills of organizing. I got a list of specific problems reported about the bathroom, the things that people struggle with trying to manage. So, the first one is there's too many products. We try new stuff, we don't discard what we don't like or what's too old. We keep a large volume of products that we realistically, more than we realistically can use. And that results in products that separate or they turn bad scent wise. You know, you go to pull it out and it starts to smell funny a little bit.
Yeah.
We save too much travel stuff and things that are those little travel sizes just because it was free at the hotel. And we don't actually travel that much. So we don't really need it for our travel.
And everybody loves teeny tiny little bottles. It's really
What
hard to
is,
resist them.
I know it's the little tiny little pieces. But you know, when you take them home to you so you can use them on another travel and then you go to a new hotel where they have more small products. So you don't need a provision from one hotel to the next hotel. So, you know, the idea that you need to take them home is really kind of, you know, yes, cute is the enemy. That's correct.
Hmm.
It's totally true. That's so funny. We try way too many makeup products and we never discard those because they cost so much money when you buy them. Even if you don't, like, I don't like the color, I don't like the way it feels, I don't like the, you know, how the mascara worked, I didn't like what it did to my lashes or whatever. But because we spent $25 on whatever that jar was, we don't want to get rid of it because it feels like a waste and you can't return it after you've opened it. And so it's a whole thing with makeup. And really, we never discard those products even after we've like been using them for a while and they get really old. And conventional wisdom says we should discard it after a few months. But we don't like to do that either. Even if we're using it, we don't want to discard it when they say that it's hygienically reasonable to discard it. And so just generally, we keep too much product of all kinds in that bathroom. The next product problem in the bathroom is that there's limited storage. Counter space is premium space. The counters are small or non-existent. If you have a pedestal sink, one that where you just have the sink and it's standing on a pedestal and there's nothing else, then you have no counter at all. Sometimes there's got a cabinet storage, and it's either under the sink or it's in a small closet. Sometimes it's cabinet is storage is hanging on the wall, but it's little. They're tiny cabinets. They're not very deep. They're designed to fit in a bathroom space, and so it's not like sometimes it's barely 6 inches deep when you have cabinets hanging on the wall. There's hardly any storage system that's very big in a bathroom. We always have too much on the counters themselves. When we have a counter, that very limited counter space does not make a good parking space for all the products you want to use. We overuse the flat surface to store stuff that then gets in the way of getting ready in the morning because it's too crowded up there. So we always overload that one flat surface that we have in the bathroom. And if you use a lot of electrical items, then their cords they have to be plugged near, it has to be sitting where the plug is so it's easy to plug it in, or it stays plugged in and then it needs to rest there. And so you end up with a lot of electrical things all having cords and all jammed into a corner where the plug is and trying to store them all, and it makes a big mess. And it at the very least, it makes a big mess of the cords. And then the other problem with bathrooms is if you share them, if you have a shared bathroom, this just compounds all of these issues I just said. If you live with others, it's hard to share the space, and it makes too many products worse. On the counter and in the shower, all of you have your own products on the counters and in the shower or bath. And so it just compounds the problem of a bathroom being too crowded and having too much stuff. So given all these issues, how do we want to tackle this room to get it under control and then maintain it? So, of course, I have some Clutter Fairy advice for you. And we're going to start with the products. We really want to minimize the number of products both on the counter and in the cabinets and in the shower. If you don't like something, get rid of it immediately. Give it away, donate it, use it to clean the toilet. That was a suggestion that someone made. It's like, if you don't like the shampoo and you're never going to use it, then, clean the sink with it. Scrub the sink out. Like, it's soap, so treat it like soap and wash something with it. If you don't want to do that, you can donate to a women's shelter. You can donate to a refugee program, a homeless shelter. You can go put them in the office break room. Basically, wherever lots of people can go by and pick up your excess. If you work someplace where there's a traffic of people going through, you just need to sit it out, and it'll drive by and somebody will pick it up. It won't matter that it's been partially used. I would clean the products, clean the bottles off and make sure it looks all neat and clean first. And that way, it's soap or it's lotion, so it's easy to clean off. Then you can sort of make it look a little bit easier to transport and easier for somebody to be willing to pick it up. If you don't like a product, but you can still use it, then start using it up. Hold off on buying those replacements and use something that you didn't enjoy very much, especially if you can't make yourself give it away or toss it. So people buy the products, use it, don't like it, and then go put it in the cabinet and never use it, and then watch it die, and then 15 years later throw it away. So let's skip that whole process completely. If you don't like it, but you are willing to use it, just use it up. And for 2 months, you'll be using something you don't like very much, but it'll be gone, and you won't have wasted your money. And if you're not willing to do that, then give it away. And if you don't want to give it away, then you got to, scrub the toilets with it. Like, that's the bottom line. But don't let the option be, I don't like it, I'm not going to use it, I'm going to shove it back in the cabinet. Figure out that you don't like it and find a disposition that works for you, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Next up, you want to buy less. Using up what you have, even if it's not your favorite, before you replace it with a new product. It's not fun using up stuff that's not your favorite, but it's a discipline that empties your bathroom by using what you have, so you don't spend more money and you don't waste the product. If it's just going to sit in the bathroom and gather dust, it's just taking up valuable space that you need in a bathroom. And so this is a perfect example of filtering the contents for, will I use it or won't I use it? And if you won't use it, figure out some other way to get rid of it. Get it out of there. Don't just store it. You can store overstock items outside of the bathroom. So all those extras, you can go put them somewhere else besides in the bathroom if the bathroom's too small, or if the storage space in the bathroom is full with stuff that you actually are using regularly. Store only extras of what you really use, but not anything that you've rejected. Like there's nothing worse than cleaning out a house that has a bathroom closet, a linen closet, some sort of medicine cabinet that's full of products that are a million years old and no one's used and they've just been parked there for forever. So do that now and make your space be free for the products that you actually do want to use. Don't shop and store against the apocalypse. Don't buy 47 bottles because they're on sale. Like you don't need to have a backstock that provides you shampoo for the next 6 years. By the time you get to the 6th year, the bottles may not be smelling right anymore. So this is something that you want to, buy one, get one is a curse. Exactly. It doesn't matter that you can buy one and get one. I just say buy one whenever you actually need one and don't worry about it otherwise.
Or buy one, get one, and give the extra to your friend who also likes that, or your sister,
Yeah, like
or
split it.
yeah.
Buy one, get one, and donate one of those to somebody. Exactly. I think, the point is we don't think about how long it takes us to use a bottle and we buy them because they're on sale or whatever. And then if you end up with 15 bottles of something because you keep buying shampoo at the store when you see it on sale and you're not using it up fast enough, if you stop buying for 4 years and you still won't have run out of shampoo. One of the people in the survey, we have an old survey about bathrooms, and one of the people in the survey said it takes them 2 years to use a bottle of shampoo. Well, that's a long time. So
That's good. That's useful knowledge.
It's useful info.
If you have 6 bottles of shampoo, then 5 of them are not going to last beyond the life of the one you're currently using.
Right? They're not going to be in good shape by the time you go to use them. So, yeah, ick. So, you do not want to stock up with huge amounts of back stock because you want to be able to use it before it becomes toxic, smells funny, turns,
Yeah.
whatever they use in it turns bad. So, we want to,
Separates, changes color,
yeah, change its
or
color.
otherwise
If
becomes unpleasant. Yeah.
100%. So, skip that 100%. So you also need to assign a place for everything. You want to designate where makeup goes, where face care goes, where the hair care is going to go, where bathroom cleaning products go. You need parking for current drugs, your prescriptions. You need parking for over-the-counter medications, for toilet paper, for first aid items. And you likely need to park some portion of the linens you own, what you'll use in this bathroom most often. So while I wouldn't put every towel that you have in the bathroom when the linen closets in the bathroom are small or narrow or shallow, you want to have the towel that you're using in an extra. You want a hand towel in an extra. You want the wash rag you're using in an extra. So you don't want to have a huge volume, but you might a little bit. So you might want to have a parking space for a small portion of the linens. And then the rest of the stuff can be somewhere else. And you want to containerize small items so they don't end up scattered on the counter or the edge of the tub. The edge of the tub is the worst possible storage space. Let me just say that.
Oh
It's
my gosh.
barely a surface, much less a flat one. It's not a flat surface. It's got a well in it. It's got edges and it's tilted
It
for the water.
leans so the water
Yeah,
drains, right?
it's
Yesterday
the worst.
we washed the dog in the bathtub because it was a little too cold to take him to the spa in the complex.
Yeah.
And I have a like a plastic what do you call it? Like a deli container,
Mm,
like a pint deli container that I was using to scoop up water to rinse with.
yeah.
And I kept setting it down on the edge of the tub, and
Phew.
half a second later, it would fall in. It took me several tries to learn that yes, you're never
Yeah.
going to make that work.
It's not actually a surface on which you can park
Yeah.
anything, right? I mean, the bottles, some of the bottles are flat, but some of them have sort of like a rounded, indented shape to them, and then you go sit them on the edge of the tub and it's like, yeah, that's not lasting there. If you breathe on it wrong, it's coming down. And so, yeah, I mean, we treat the edges of the tub like they're going to hold products, and no, they don't. That's the bottom line. It's really, you can use containers to store products on the countertop. So skip the tub. But yeah, and in my shower, I have the shampoo and conditioner that I use, the face wash that I use, and a bar of soap that I use. And the end. That's 100% what I got in there. And and there's actually a shelf in my shower, and so I have a shelf to sit them on. But not everybody does. And if you have to figure out a way to hang or rest the products that you use in the shower, it better be a really, really small quantity of product because otherwise you will be fighting the product all the time. So you definitely want to limit what ends up in there and have the other stuff be containerized elsewhere.
Yeah. Well, and containerizing all the little stuff helps with cleanup too.
Mm,
Picking up your tray or shallow basket, whatever it is that you're using, and moving the whole thing when you need to wipe the counters is going to save you a ton of time versus
yeah,
having
super
to
easier.
pick up 15 little things. And the 15 little things, four of them dribbled a little bit the last time you use them. And if they're in a container, then the container is the only thing you're going to have to clean once in a
Right.
while,
Every once in a while.
as
Exactly.
as opposed to numerous tiny little messes all over the counter that
Exactly.
get spread around because you pick something up and put something else down in that messy spot.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So you can use those containers to store products on the countertops, in the drawers, and inside the cabinets to help you define the parking for the various categories and to keep the items from floating loose on the counter in the medicine cabinet. If you think about the kind of stuff you put in the medicine cabinet, it's all kinds of little bottles and lipsticks and chapsticks and tools. Maybe you put nail stuff in there. There's all kinds of little bitty things that end up shoved into the medicine cabinet in the wall. And if they're not containerized, then every time you open the cabinet and touch something, five other things fall out. Like those surfaces are just they're like the tub in that it may be flat, but it's so shallow. If you touch one thing, the whole tower comes down. So having containers in the medicine cabinet will just save you from constantly picking up the 47 tubes that just popped out. And when you go in there to grab something, try narrow containers for the medicine cabinet, small segmented containers in the drawers, the shallower drawers, bins in the cabinet. So if you have cabinets with the open and a couple of shelves, you can use regular sized bins to go in there. Use a small multi-drawer unit on the counter for makeup or other products. I'm talking about something that's, a little box has pull-out drawers in it. Something
Right.
like that will work on the surface of the counter to give you a little bit of horizontal, vertical storage, and still have some separation by the drawer. So it's a way to make use of the small footprint of the counter and still have a little bit more subdivision.
And if you don't like what you find in the bathroom department, you can look in art supply stores
Mm.
or the art supply areas of, more general stores, um, because a lot of the stuff that makes sense for art also makes sense for makeup.
Yeah, because it's just, multi-layered and many segments. And
Right.
that translates really well, 100%.
Yeah. And a variety of pencil shaped things and a variety of, little tiny round things and so on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's true. You also want to use sink specific storage solutions that take into account storing around the plumbing fixtures under the sink. So a lot of times the only cabinets there are the cabinet directly below the sink and there's plumbing down there. And so you can't stick regular containers under there because it doesn't fit around the plumbing. But they make stuff that's designed to be installed and fit around the plumbing. So you just have to search for storage solutions that are designed for plumbing fixtures. And then you can have some shelves added in or containers that are high on one side and low on the other side, stuff like that, so that you can fit them in around and still make use of that small space underneath the sink. It's never a big space, but it is some cabinetry, and so it's worth it to try to figure out a way to containerize some of that. It's the definition of usually because the sink is there, so the counter is a little bit wider there. So the cabinet is a little bit, deeper. So the cabinet's a little bit deeper. And so you end up with long, narrow storage containers under the sink that fit around the plumbing. But that means that you can slide the container out, fish what you want out of there, slide it back. The same is true in the kitchen. There's always a cabinet under the sink, but you have to work around the plumbing. And so you're looking for things that will fill up the depth of the cabinet and still get around the plumbing when there's items sitting in the container. So think of that when you're working in the kitchen and when you're working in the bathroom sink to try to make use of those cabinets. You can add an over-the-door alpha rack. So if you think of an alpha rack that it has two bars that come on each side, and it has snap-on shelving units that are probably 4 inches deep, maybe something like that. Some of them are slightly deeper, 5 or 6 inches. That's about the max, though. And they're kind of adjustable. So if you have no storage space at all, you can hang one of those over the door alpha things on the back of the bathroom door or on the inside of a linen closet if you have a linen closet in there to give you some extra small rack containers for storing things. It's sort of like having that on the inside of your pantry. So yeah, a cloth shoe rack, exactly. They also make hanging shoe trees that are with pouches on the side or pouches in the front that face forward that you can slot products in as well. So it's a way to add some storage if the bathroom is really small or has no closets of any kind. It's one of the things you can add. Let me just say that all medicine cabinets need help. So one of the things you should be doing is you know you've kept those meds way too long. So anything expired needs to go. Plus those little shelves hardly hold anything, and trying to stand everything up on those shelves, guarantee it's all going to fall on your head. So look for narrow open containers to sit on the shelf, and then you can hold all the little, squeeze tubes and bottles and lip balms and all that stuff that there you have a multiple of, and they're all tiny and they are all tilty. They're all easily knocked over.
Yeah.
They do make a lot of containers that are, you know, 2 inches tall, 2 inches wide, and then, 4, 5, 6, 8 inches long. So you can buy long, narrow containers that are narrow enough to sit on those shelves. And then, it helps you manage stuff better. In the actual bath or shower, we talked about this, thin out the products to only what you're actually using now. The shower should hold your current use items, not everything you've ever tried. So, what you're actually washing your hair with, what you're actually washing your face with, what you're actually shaving with, et cetera, et cetera. Do the stuff that you're actually using and not multiples. Like you don't want any backstock in there. You don't want anything that you tried and you're not using. You don't want anything that you use every once in a while. You just want the stuff that you're using every day. And stick one or two of the bottles for a few months. Try to stick with one or two types. So if you have 47 bottles of, body wash in different flavors, put one or two of them up and just stick with them for a few months and use it all up before you don't want those 47 options in the shower with you. So you want to have, I'm going to use vanilla scent for the fall. I'm going to use flowers for the spring, however you want to make your choices, but you're only going to use it for a couple months and it's going to get used up. So don't stress about it. Just have one or two in the shower and the rest can be waiting for you to grab later. They really are backstuck, and they can be containerized, stored in cabinets instead of actually in the bath with you. I don't know about you, but when there's too much in there, I end up knocking it with my arms. I catch
Right.
things with like yeah. Apparently, I don't understand where my body is in space, and so I'm always knocking things with my shoulders, my elbows, my arms, knocking them all down. So the less product, the better. That means I'm not picking up stuff off the bottom of the floor of my shower every time I'm in there.
Also, everything that you keep inside the shower ends up splattered with water and soap and shampoo and
Mm-hmm.
builds up residues of all of the above. And
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
more stuff in the shower is more stuff to clean. So even if you like to change your flavor, even if you like a flavor of the week, swap it out. Put, if this week is pineapple and coconut, then take out the raspberry mint that you were enjoying last week.
Right.
And
It's okay if you want to maintain it that
clean the
way.
bottles. Clean the bottles when they come out.
Yeah, yeah, so that they're not leaving a mess everywhere.
Gooey. Yeah.
They're not gooey. Exactly. They're always gooey. If your under the sink storage is limited, you can store bath cleaning products centrally with other cleaning supplies in another place. If cabinet space is limited, remove linens to outside the bathroom, as these take up a lot of space in small cabinets. When you fold a towel, it's a really thick item when it's folded up. And so those cabinets that they install over the toilet are always too narrow for folded up linens. Like the
Right.
idea is it's a linen closet or it's a linen cabinet, except it will only hold two towels before it's full. So you have to, limit that. That's one of the things that can be removed to elsewhere where you have a little bit more storage. A lot of times people want to put the cleaning products for the bathroom in the bathroom, and that makes perfect sense. And it typically ends up under the sink because that's a logical place to store it. But if that space is non-existent or it is limited or small and you want it for something else, then that's one of the things that's easily removable. You can have the bath stuff be in a caddy of its own, but stored somewhere else, out in a closet in the hall, in the utility room, wherever you keep the other cleaning supplies. It's one of the things that can be removed as a category if there's just not enough room for it in the bathroom.
And keep it all together with a caddy. So it's you're not making a lot of work for yourself to have to go get the bathroom cleaning supplies when it's time to clean.
And come and use it and take it back.
Right.
Exactly. If multiple people are sharing one bath, then use portable totes for each person. Then they have their specific products separated from everyone else's products. So it might be easier. I mean, I've known people who, here's the family of four and they have one bathroom in the house. That's just how the
Hmm.
house was built. And so if there's a bunch of people going in and out all the time, everybody wants their own shampoo and they want their own face products and their own whatever. So the way that you get yours and you don't have to fish through theirs to get it is that everybody has their own tote that they take in and out of the cabinet, or they take in and out of their room, their own closet. And it doesn't have to be in the bathroom. It doesn't have to say park there. Particularly if it's a family using one bathroom, I would want that space to be available for, you need the over-the-counter medications in the bathroom, but you need them up and out of the way of small kids, or you need the hair care products like the blow dryer or a curling iron, so then you don't have as much space on the counter for a bunch of products. You're doing makeup, but if your makeup is on the counter, then it gets in the way of a whole bunch of other people's stuff. So, and if you don't want anybody messing with your products, then you need them in your own tote and stored somewhere else. You might have the ability, if there's enough cabinet space, that everybody's tote can have a parking space inside the cabinet and they can go retrieve, pull out their stuff and sit it on the counter while they're getting dressed. And then it can go back in the cabinet. If there's not enough room, then they can have that caddy be in their own room and they bring it with them like they live in the dorm. They can bring their caddy from their room down to the bathroom to use and take it back. At least monthly, you want to do a maintenance check to make sure that no new clutter has established a foothold. This is always a problem. You may find that you missed a category of stuff that needs to be there. And so if you find such a thing and you make a new container and a parking space for it, I did see a really good suggestion about the items that the person used every day. This is a place where they installed a Lazy Susan in a cabinet. So they didn't want the stuff on the counter. So inside, and I don't know whether it was an under the sink cabinet or, one close to the floor under the counter, or if it was a closet cabinet, but the reference was in the cabinet, there was a Lazy Susan, and then the stuff that got used every day was sitting on the Lazy Susan, so they could just spin the Lazy Susan and grab the next thing they were going to use. And that kept them off the counter, but easily accessible for their everyday grooming. And so I thought that was a great suggestion. Lazy Susans are not just for kitchens anymore, and they can really be used to create an active use zone almost anywhere. So that was a good addition, I thought. Anything to add here, Ed?
We have loads of comments, so let's
Okay.
go to the comments. I cut off the tittle responses a little too fast because Jane, who mentioned
We're
shifting
gonna.
from the garage to the shrubs,
Yeah.
Went on to explain, she said, I had help on Saturday,
Ah,
so took advantage of that to use the muscle power in the yard.
100%.
Yeah, so no matter, yeah, you have to be, the lesson there is you have to be flexible to take advantage of the opportunity for help when it comes along.
Well, right. And that was an example of reevaluating the priority.
Right.
Like you suddenly had resources that you don't normally have. And so that changed your priority 100%, and good of you to notice and react on that one. Excellent.
And then let's see. Nina says, thanks to you both, I was able to clean out the pantry and didn't realize how many things were expired. I like to cook and end up emptying about 15 containers of spices and herbs that were more than a year old. I've
Wow.
I've been listening to all of your older podcasts. Thank you.
Thank you for trolling the library. We appreciate that.
Right?
And most cooks aren't as comfortable throwing away old spices, Ed, would you say? She did
Um,
great. I'm surprised actually.
yeah, that's terrific. I'm so reluctant to throw away food that we recently had we had family here for the holidays, and I made a batch of sausage balls. I think someone in here said it's not Christmas without sausage balls. I can't remember who that was. But sauce, it's bulk sausage, cheese, and
Cheese.
Bisquick,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
you know roll them up, bake them. They're so good. And so we got out a bunch of little jars of mustard from various sources so that people could enjoy
To
them,
dip them.
to dip them in mustard.
Mm.
Well, my niece picked one up and she said, "This expired in 2023." I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I took it away from her. She picked up another one. She said, "This expired in 2024." And so on. I don't think we had one old jar. We had fresh mustard in the fridge, but I don't think we had one old jar of fancy mustard that was not expired.
Ed.
Yeah.
You
Well,
such bad.
it's that stuff that comes in, gift basket
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
and
yeah.
or things like that. And they always sound so good, but they're also usually, I don't know, an ounce and a half or something.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to just slap it on a hot dog and kind of miss the experience. So you save it for a special occasion,
Which you did.
and it took, so many years for the appropriate special occasion to crop up that yeah. Anyway, yeah.
So, perfect example of, you got to be realistic about how much entertaining you're doing, fool. Like,
Yes.
I'm sorry I missed the old mustard and sausage balls, but
Yeah,
yeah,
we ended up eating it, the sausage rolls with whatever fresh container of
in the fridge.
plain old plain old brown mustard I had kicking around. Connie says our bathroom, like in many European bathrooms, is split into two rooms. One is the
Mm,
WC with the water closet with
yeah.
with the sink, and the other is the bathtub and shower, washing machine and sink. And
Oh,
we also
washing
have a
machine too.
drying rack in there. Yeah.
That's a lot going on in
That is
there.
a lot to stuff in there.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think that's very typical of European bathrooms.
But it also means that in addition to storing all the bathroom stuff, they're also storing things to do the laundry with.
Right.
So they have an extra category of things that they need to provision for in there
That,
that is going to take up space. They got to have, their laundry products. So
right.
they have an extra category in there. Mm.
And back to Jane, she said one of the gardeners also took the old TV and TV stand from the garage. So she not only took advantage of having some labor to work in her yard, but she
Right?
still made progress on the garage
On the
project.
garage.
She said
Good job.
that had a big footprint, so it was a win. I realized I should celebrate as garage progress. The TV worked.
Excellent.
The TV worked, and I hope will get used now.
Perfect.
Regarding the tiny bottles, Anita mentioned many hotels now have wall dispensers, so there aren't any
Exactly.
more tiny bottles. And I think it was Dawn. Let's see if I can find it. Dawn said, "I was so relieved at our last hotel that they had three compartments: soap, shampoo, and conditioner dispenser in the shower." No travel sizes to tempt me to take them home.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think that they figured out it's so much more cost effective for them to slap product on the wall, and then they don't have to provide all those little bottles that everybody takes home either. So
Right.
it's a good cost saving technique for them.
Although I'm sure there are people who bring their own tiny bottles and just, dispense into the little tiny
Dispense,
bottle.
right? If you got
Because,
all that trouble.
you got to steal something from the hotel, right? Naomi, who's in Canada, says my bathroom is also two rooms, but it is one cramped room with toilet and tub slash shower, and the other is a spacious powder room with sink, lots of drawers and shelves, and room for an extra chest of drawers.
Oh my.
I have to look for non-bathroom things to store there so as not to waste the space.
Oh, well, good that you have lots of cabinetry there. Um, I'm What category would make sense in there? I mean, I assume it's close to the bedroom, so you might have some. You could move jewelry in there. You can store toilet paper in there. What else would you put in there?
Well, we had an arrangement like that. You know, we had a Jack and Jill arrangement
Yeah,
in our house, the first house we lived in Houston, and it had powder rooms on either side, and then toilet and bath shower were
in the middle.
in the middle, in between
Mm-hmm.
the two.
Mm-hmm.
And so, those rooms are, since they only have a sink, though the powder rooms are dry enough that you could definitely keep linens and, I mean, maybe clothes in storage bins or something under those counters. We had
Well, and
tons
because
and
she,
tons of storage space in the powder rooms and almost none in
everywhere
the
else.
wet room,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because she said chest of drawers, you could fit a chest of drawers in there.
Oh
That made
yeah.
me think you could move, like your undergarments into that powder room portion of the bathroom, and not, and then free up some drawers maybe in the dressers
Yeah.
in the bedroom instead.
Yeah.
Take advantage of those. That's a lot. Certainly, the over-counter medications could go there because uh, then they're drier. Like if they're in the powder room instead of somewhere else,
Yeah.
uh, they're in better shape because they're dry. It's drier
Drier
there.
and less humid. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
M says the only storage I have in the bathroom is two skinny drawers about 3 inches deep. No pantry.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah,
super
that's
annoying,
tough.
right?
That is a very small. And M also
Mhm.
said, let's see, uh,
You
got
could
to
build your own storage in that case.
might have to scroll a minute here, but M also had other complaints about her rental. Trying to find it. Oh my goodness, maybe I'll just wait till. No, there we go. She says, my medicine cabinet dumps its contents when the door is opened.
There you go.
The door doesn't stay shut on its own, has to be held open by the open bathroom door, which doesn't stay open on its own, so has to have a door stop. Rentals.
No kidding. Well, and that's definitely, you definitely need containers in the medicine cabinet then, so that having stuff isn't falling out at you all the time. That's the worst. And the containers can leave. It makes them easy to pack. You just pull the full container out and wrap it up and put it in a moving box when you're ready to go.
Okay, let's see. Now I gotta go back a little bit. Okay, there's Naomi. Um, Jacqueline says I've been on a use it up challenge for soaps and lotions. That's good.
Mm.
Very good.
It
And
takes a lot longer than you think it's going to take, doesn't it? Like using up those bottles of lotion in particular, it seems like forever to use up a bottle of lotion to me.
well, and on your comment about cleaning off the bottles that you're getting ready to donate, no, Naomi
Mm.
commented it helps to clean off the outsides of the bottles, even if you're keeping them to use yourself.
Yeah.
If they've been in the wet zone,
Right.
getting splashed and sprayed.
Or they actively dribble every time you use them. Not all the bottles are well designed, so sometimes they just get dribbly with use, and clean them up every once in a while. It's pretty easy.
May affirmed your suggestion of taking things to the office break room. She said I took many an item from her office break room, so this idea definitely works.
Right? It's just the office building version of urban recycling. Right? You just need
Right.
to put it in front of an audience that's willing to grab stuff, and so it's the office version of putting it at the end of the curb and let it walk off.
Summer has a tip. I combine travel size items I've acquired into a current product typically liquid soaps. Great
That's
for
reasonable,
hand washing and miscellaneous tasks.
right? You're just, beefing up your supply. Okay. All right.
Um, let's see.
There's so many of those little products. People save them, they collect them, and then I clear them out 25 years later. And, the plastic is brittle and it's turned yellow and the product is super dead and it smells awful. And, we save them because we think we're going to offer them to people that come to the house or we're going to take them with us. And you never do. And the collection just grows. And then I throw it out later. So uh, resist, resist, resist and use up what you have. When you run out of shampoo, go get some small bottles and start using up the small bottles for a while before you go shopping again.
May says Target Delivery made a mistake and sent me 3 times my oversized shampoo slash conditioner order.
Oh
I
my
can't,
goodness.
I can't win, but I'm good for life. So
Right?
she's got shampoo till the end of time.
Right. And you may want to donate one of those. I mean, that would be super useful for somebody somewhere. So you may want to donate one and keep two. And
Yeah.
so you have one in use and one behind. And 5 years from now, you can go to the store again.
Catherine says our master bathroom has long been on the needs complete renovation list,
Oh.
especially now that aging in place is a concern. Our
Mm.
only shower is inside a high-walled step-in tub.
Oh, that's not fun.
And Jane said, when I retired, I used my unused vacation pay to convert a deep tub to a shower. I love it, and it's no longer a tripping hazard. When you can, it's worthwhile to declutter a deep tub.
Right? 100%. Trade it out for something more easily used. And in anticipation of that reno, you got to start, making space, getting rid of product, moving stuff out of the bathroom. If they're going to come in and start knocking things down, you need to, start clearing it out in anticipation. You do not want to have to do that 2 days before the people come to start the reno. I get phone calls like that occasionally where somebody's like, they've realized that they signed up for renovation and they're not prepared for the renovation people to come and start demo. And I get panic phone calls. Oh my God, I need help getting ready for it. Yeah, you should have thought of that 3 weeks ago. We're like, that's a project. It's not fast emptying a whole room, is it? No, it's not.
We haven't talked at all about accommodating small children, but Connie wanted to include a reminder. If you have little ones,
Okay.
put bottles that are easy to open up higher
Oh, yes,
as you're
because otherwise they will open and
planning
pour
your
them
bathroom.
everywhere.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Niz
That's totally true.
suggested a new way to think about buy one get one, BOGO, and she says buy one give one.
Oh, that's a good way to think about
So
it,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
If you're going to get it, if you're going to get a discount for buying two, buy one and give one away somewhere. Donate
And
it. Yeah, you don't
uh,
have to be the one to keep it.
and Jane says the last time I cleaned out the bathroom cabinet, I got bins to store various types of products. My back stock is now limited to those bins. So
Excellent.
she's applying the container concept to
Very
keep
good.
keep the back stock under control.
If the backstop bin is full, you have enough product. That's perfect.
Uh, Dawn says I was trying hard to use up a lotion, but it wasn't very hydrating. While I could tolerate the scent, it's not a favorite. Finally, a brand I like and is super hydrating went on sale, and the store had a coupon. I bought the better quality one and threw away the half bottle of the cheaper, ineffective one.
There you go.
Yeah, there's
Fa-fa.
yeah.
When in
If you
doubt.
if you really don't like it, there's just you don't let don't let the sunk cost fallacy make you keep something you don't enjoy. Because you're
And
gonna have to
and it's
not
going to take
enjoy
up
it repeatedly.
yeah, and it's going to take up valuable space, right? Like that bottle is in a place that something else could be. And so you're surrendering valuable space in a small room in order to not have to throw away the money you gave
Yeah.
to go take it to the office and let somebody else play with it.
Uh,
Take it
Paula
to
said
church.
Paula says I'm fortunate enough to have lots of built-in storage in the bathroom, including in the shower.
That's good.
Lucky
Wow.
devil.
I know that's unusual.
I know, right?
If
I
you have
have
a big master suite closet and bathroom, you'll have more cabinets and more space, obviously, but not
yeah.
everybody does.
We have we have a big master bathroom in our new place and just oceans of counter space. It's kind of crazy. It's more counter space than any two people need.
Well, that's
Um,
good.
well, and I mean any two people who don't wear makeup and do multiple processes to their hair and so on.
Right?
You know,
You're definitely the scrub and go guy, right?
yeah. I
You
have
barely need shampoo.
one little tray that is probably, I don't know, 12 by 8 or something like that. One little bamboo tray sitting on the counter holds all of my stuff, my regular, daily stuff.
Hmm.
And we did add a little shelf, little two shelf unit on the wall for some of the stuff that has plugs. So none of that. So the cords don't all have to trail across the counter
Yeah, yeah.
and around the water area.
That's good.
Um, Catherine asks, what do you do about that last bottom layer that always winds up left in pump bottles below reach of the pumping stem?
Ah,
And there were, a lot of people had suggestions. Pour it into, M says pour it into a new container. Jane says I add a bit of water. Um, Brenda says if soap, I add water to wash it out and use up. And she says they're hard to drain. Catherine goes on to say they're hard to drain by gravity because they don't balance well upside down. And May said it in a tall glass. That's another place that I mentioned deli containers, like a quart deli container that
uh-huh.
potato salad or something came in.
Yeah.
Those are really nice shape for when you need to drain a bottle because they will hold. You can turn it upside down
And
and
just prop it there.
the quart one is tall enough that it'll just lean against the side and not topple over.
Yeah. Yeah, the pump bottles are unique because they do, the stick is shorter than the bottle, and so you can't always get the product down there. If it's hand sanitizer, you can't add water, but if it's something else, you can add a little bit of water just to get it back up to a draw up level, or like we're saying, take the pump off and turn it upside down and pour it into a container that you can, pour it in a cup or a bowl or something that you can use for a few days until it's all gone.
Well, and if with really thick stuff, you may just have to resort to cutting down the bottle.
Right? Open it up.
Take a box cutter and carefully cut it down to the point where you'll be able to reach inside to get at the
Mm-hmm.
lotion. It's
Mm-hmm.
not pretty. Angelina says 5 of us share a shower, and we all
Oh,
have different hair types. We
oh
each have our
my.
own shampoo and conditioner. It is overwhelming.
Right? So clearly that's you're saying all that product is in the shower that everybody shares. That's a lot. And so that would be one where I would aim for getting everybody to have their own caddy that they take back and forth, or installing one of those tall, spring-loaded
Hmm.
bars that has shelves on it
Right.
so that everybody can put their two products in there and it's enough. I mean, for 5 people, that's 10 bottles right there. So you're already looking at a big volume hanging out in the shower. I myself might want to have the ability to move mine back and forth. Not the least of which is when somebody runs out of shampoo, then they're going to start using your shampoo. So you may want to have yours, to come back and forth with you,
Yeah.
so you're not giving up your shampoo.
Especially if, your housemate gets their shampoo from the racks by the register at TJ Maxx and you buy your shampoo at, Paul Mitchell Salon or something.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Several people chastised me for giving away throwing away the expired mustard and said mustard lasts forever. Old mustard isn't going to kill you. And honestly, that's probably true because it's mostly vinegar. But
But clearly, you're not
you
eating it
s-
fast enough,
and you don't really want to serve it to your guests
right? Like
if
that
they
was.
if they can see where the expiration date is.
Oh well, they just helped you clear your pantry a little bit.
But Kara made a good point. You don't use it because you're saving it. Eek. And Jane said that's the real downside of saving anything for a special occasion. My mom used to do that. She passed young and had many things she never used. Life is a special occasion.
Exactly. And there's no reason to wait on using it. If you like it and you're more likely to eat it in your own house, you might as well serve it to yourself.
Okay, let's talk about upcoming weeks.
Okay?
We will be back next week, January 27th at the usual time. People with clutter issues often report feeling overwhelmed, like a juggler trying to keep too many balls in the air. Even when they know where they'd like to go, they can't always see a way to get there through the confusion.
Mm.
Next week, we're going to explore the condition of overwhelm and offer practical pointers to get unstuck and stay in motion on your organizing projects. So join us on January 27th for Overcome Overwhelm. Stop your emotional juggling and move forward.
And this is a topic that I cover all the time, and I talk about it with practically every client that calls and asks about my services. And so you are not alone. You are not the only one having this issue. And we are going to talk about it and hopefully change your mind about it a little bit and help you get in motion.
Yeah, overwhelm is the seems to be the starting baseline for an awful lot of people who
Mm,
first decide it's time to address the clutter.
right?
February 3rd, we're taking the week off because Gail has a big project that she's promised her time to that week.
Mm.
And then February 24th, I want to remind everybody we'll have our next book club episode. And the book is called New Order, a decluttering handbook for creative folks and everyone else by Faye Wolf.
Looking
So
forward to talking about that
yeah, I'm
from
I'm
the
really
creative person's point of view.
yeah, I'm enjoying the book a lot. I like her voice, so it's really fun writing.
You know, I
Uh,
like creative people. I have a lot of creative people in my life, so
I know it.
I think it's going to suit me very well.
Gail, why don't you get us the tittle?
Okay, this week's weekly title is Pitch Problem Products. More of our audience members blame their bathroom clutter on too many products than on any other single issue. So, this week's assignment is to review the bathroom products you've accumulated and thin the herd. Gather all of your bathroom products into one place. Pull everything out of all the places where you have stuff stashed because you know it's everywhere. Sort by type: shampoo, soap, dental care, lotions, potions, bathroom cleaning products, other hair products, first aid items, over the counter meds, makeup. Those are all the categories we could come up by off the top of our head. If you have more, that's great. Select the products that you're currently actively using and set them aside to keep. Reserve a reasonable backstock of surplus products, bearing in mind how long the supply will last at your usual rate of use. So, like the person who had 3 extra large bottles of product that's probably looking at 8 years of use. you know, Make sure that the backstock that you keep, you don't just keep because you have it. You want to keep what you can reasonably use in an amount of time that makes sense, right? Based on how fast you use it. Dispose of any products you're not using that are no longer suitable to donate or give away. So throw out the stuff that's already turned, and I'm sure you're going to find some of it. And then identify one or more recipients and donate your partially used or unused products. You can look for a buy nothing group, a women's shelter, a refugee program, or like May said, I think it was May, share your excess in the break room at work or any similar place where people gather. So, let people drive by, grab the collection, and take it away from your house, which is the ultimate goal. And then, have the experience and come and tell us how it went. Come and see how your microcosm organizing project worked in the bathroom and tell us what went wrong and what worked. And we would love to hear about it.
If you're watching this on YouTube, we'd love for you to join us live. To get notifications about upcoming events, we invite you to join the meetup group by visiting cfhou.com/meetup. You can also follow us on Facebook by visiting cfhou.com/Facebook or join our mailing list by visiting cfhou.com/subscribe. We'd love to hear from our audience, so please keep your questions, comments, and topic suggestions coming on YouTube, Facebook, or anywhere that you find us. You can always reach us through our website at clutterfairyhouston.com.
Thank you guys for joining us this week. It's still in January. I still consider it the beginning of the year, so we're starting our organizing projects. I can't wait to see what you do at the bathroom. Come and tell us all about it next week, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.